Aloha my kako and welcome back to another book review. I am Mama Kitty and today we are finally reviewing Dust, the third book in Hugh Howey's Silo series, and oh boy, I can't wait to get into it. The synopsis goes as follows. In the aftermath of the uprising, the people of Silo 18 are coming to terms with a new order. Some embrace the change, others fear the unknown, none have control of their fate. The silo is still in danger. There are those set on its destruction. Jules knows they must be stopped. The battle has been won. The war is just beginning. Before we get into this, let me just start by saying that despite everything I'm about to tell you, I didn't hate it. It's probably going to sound like I didn't like it very much, and it wasn't that bad. It just, in comparison to the other two books, it was just pretty mid. So anyway, it was a pretty slow going novel, like painstakingly slow. I mean, if you know me at all, I don't mind stories that take a slower pace, especially after large incidents, partially because it really allows you to get a deeper look at the characters and how they react to these kinds of things, their trauma responses, their leadership skills, right? Stuff like that. But at a certain point, the story shouldn't be so slow that the whole novel grinds to a complete halt. Granted, there were some great moments. There were some gasp-worthy moments. There were some moments where I was so stressed out while listening to it that I was gripping the wheel so hard my knuckles were white. It's just that overall, the book was a little too slow to say that I enjoyed the whole thing as well, much as I did, say, the second book. Moving on, I generally liked what Howey did with the characters and their arcs. I think the only character I was really sort of frustrated with was Juliet. Her stubbornness at times was just so annoying. As there always is, right? There was so many incidents that could have been avoided if she had just been a little bit more open. And, I understand that if she had been, we wouldn't have had much of a story, and that her strength is in the fact that she is steadfast, that she is headstrong, and that's part of why she makes such a good leader. But there's a limit. And this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I understand why, kind of, she didn't get any kind of character growth until the very end of the novel, but also she could have had a tiny itty bitty witty bitty kitty bitty bit. Little bit. Just a little. There were so many opportunities for her to grow and to learn and to trust people, and she just didn't take any of them. And again, while I understand maybe why it happened that way, it doesn't mean I have to like it. The story progression was fine. Howie did also bring out his masterful use of tone to play. It was very nice to see. Getting into Donald, who, if I remember correctly, I didn't really like at first and when he was introduced in the second book. I enjoyed watching this guy go about his life, building his political career and working through that career then with his wife, and it was just so different from everything that we had been reading in the first book. But by this book, I was totally into him. I adored his growth. I adored the changes in his character. I adored what he tried and did accomplish throughout the two books that he was in. He really kind of became baby girl for me, and I really just wanted nothing but the best for him. The whole Silo 1 plot was honestly amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed watching all of the internal workings that we got to see, as well as all of the characters we got to know and kind of love. It was fun to watch them live their lives and then to speculate and sort of, work out how the top brass's decisions would affect them. This whole book was not the sunshine and roses that I really wanted for our characters, but it was a light at the end of the tunnel. And it was a light that they really grasped onto kind of desperately, and it was fun to kind of watch. I'm going to give this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it. I did. I was just disappointed that all of the really, really good stuff, and this is a little spoilery, I'm sorry, but all the really, really good stuff happens at the end of the book. And I was just really impatient to get to it, and I had a hard time sticking with it, but I did. It just wasn't, it could have flowed better. And obviously, I just really don't have a lot to say about it, I think is one of the other things. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't my favorite. And honestly, I think it would probably be a 2 out of 5 stars, but the acting in the audiobook, or not really acting, but the reading of the narration of the audiobook was a 10 out of 10. So I can't, in good faith, give it a 2. Although I guess that extra star is just because the narration was good. So that's some transparency for you. All I can say in conclusion is book 1 and book 2, amazing. Loved them. Great books. Third one, not bad. Maybe listen to the audiobook or find yourself a friend who has read it and have them tell you the story. Might be faster. But yeah, that's the full review. I know it wasn't a lot. There really wasn't a lot to say. But maybe the third book aside, I think I want to say that he has published it as a full, like the whole volumes together as like one big book, right? The silos or whatever. If he has it like that, I would say try to maybe read it like that instead of as 3 separate books. I think maybe that would have worked better for me. But I also 100% could have made that up, so don't quote me on that. The next book that we will be reviewing is The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. It's a romance novel. It has some time travel in it, and I'm very excited about it. I got it off of NetGalley. It's an ARC, so a advanced reader copy, where basically you read a novel without having to pay for it, and then you exchange that with an honest review. So keep an eye out for that. If you have any requests, as always, please go ahead and leave them in the comments for me. If you read the Silo series and you have your own thoughts on it, please let me know. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Threads. And, you know, I talk about books and writing and art and streaming and all of that on those kinds of sites. So definitely find me there. Until next time, thank you all for listening. Bye.